False alarm, false alarm. The lights turn off, lights turn off. Your whole place lit. Yeah. Your team lit. Yeah. My team lit. Watch TV, my mother tell me see and do. Where we going? Big jam. Where we going? Big jam. Who playing? A big band. Who playing? A big band. Where we going? Big jam. Where we going? Big jam. Who playing? A big band.
Island Guild.
Whole place lit when we link up, yeah.
Say rum to get in, promote our face with a
Take a deep breath. Breathe. Can you feel it? The air in your lungs. The essence and spirit of life in the air. This is paradise.
In other words, I not do it. Don't tell me about work, I out on the road today. Me and some pretty bitches, I out on the road today. I don't care what time of day it is, I drinking rum today. I having fun today. Yeah! Holiday. Today is a holiday. I don't care what about.
Where we going? Big jam. Where we going? Big jam. Pull up the parking lot ram. Line by the door don't long. Where we going? Big jam. Who playing a big band?
Welcome back. We're now here with David. He's the head coach for British Virgin Islands. How are you?
Everything good, thank you.
So welcome to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's your first time. How has it been?
That is good, everything is good. St. Vincent is beautiful, nice place, and I hope it's enjoy the game.
All right. What can we expect from Team BVI?
But I working in BBI 2 months ago. It's short time, it's my third friendly game. But expecting is prepare the games against Dominica and Jamaica.
All right. So we're looking forward to a really good match tonight.
Yes, but this important game because for FIFA ranking is always is important. But the most important is adapting our identity and play the game, enjoy the day.
All right. All the best to you and the team.
Thank you so much.
All right.
First of all, the national anthem of the British Virgin Islands.
So, welcome to the ARNOS VALE Sporting Complex for this matchup between the BVI and Vinci Heat.
the Charlotte. Number 6 is Charlotte Gallagher. Number 20, Jake Forbes. And number 9, Joe Release. Coach of the BVI is David Perez. And the starting 11 for St. Vincent and Grenadines. In goal, number 1, Andre Abraham. Number 3, Dimitri Thomas. Number 18, John York. Number 5, Nigel Charles. Number 20, Milton Joseph. Number 4, Andrew Johnson. Number 8, Tanisha Joseph. Number 14, Bishop Richards. Number 15, Darren Underwood.
Well, good night and welcome to this friendly international being played here at the ARNOS VALE playing field. St. Vincent and Grenadines taking on the British Virgin Islands. Danny would be here tonight.
Well, a pleasant night to you, Eddie. It's under very cool conditions. The lights have taken full effects as we have the Vincy Heat. They are up against the British Virgin Islands right here. And quickly, if I give you an idea of the starting lineup for Vincy Heat, you have Dondre Abraham, number 1 in goal. Number 3 is Dimitri Thomas. Number 18, Jamal York. Number 5, Nigel Charles. Number 20, Milton Joseph. Number 4, Andrew Johnson. Number 8, Kenija Joseph. 14, Bishop Richards. 15, Garrett Ledgerwood. 11, Azino Solomon. And number 7, Isaiah McBurnett. That's the starting lineup for Vincy Heat, Eddie.
Well, to go through the starting lineup for the British Virgin Islands in goal, Javon Splatt. The rest of the squad: Miguel Marshall, Frankie Beckles, Christian Javier, Momchild Yordanov, Jerry Wilshire, William Green, Luca Chalwell, Deshaun Gallimore, Jake Forbes, and Jahari Lacey. The starting 11, both teams already in the middle, and we'll soon be getting the kickoff here tonight at the ARNOS VALE playing field. Of course, St. Vincent and the Grenadines off of 2 excellent games where they defeated St. Kitts and Nevis 3-1 in St. Kitts, and then last Sunday a 3-0 victory right here in SVJ at the Chile playing field. Yes,
so they should be on a high at the moment. Confidence level should be high, and they would look to build on that. Coach Edric Hendrickson says he gives them a good idea as to where they are, what's needed to be worked on, and I'm sure that they would be ready and raring to go.
Well, we have the kickoff and the ball is in the half of the British Virgin Islands team. But Charles, in the meantime, certainly you can see the opportunity being given to quite a number of players for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Of course, last time around, Chad Haynes, the MVP of the game, not starting here. He didn't start on Sunday, but of course, one might have thought would have been given the opportunity to get things going, but he's on the bench, and the likes of Oleg Sanderson also on the bench.
Well, yes, I think over the last 2 games against St. Kitts, there were a lot of locally based players, the foreign-based players who are not involved. However, we have seen in this encounter that there are a few in the mix.
We have ball out of touch there, and it's going to be a throw into St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We're very early in this one, the first minutes, and we expect to have a fair showing here tonight, with regards to the patrons. I think there's a fairly good buzz around here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines following those victories.
Well, certainly, we expect that. At the present moment, it's not there, so we expect with a few minutes that they will see that increase in terms of their numbers. But you can see BVI in their green and Vincy Heat in their yellow, looking to work it around and build on that. So some good distribution on the part of the BVI.
Yes, getting into the 18-yard box, whistle going there. I believe it's an infringement against the BVI player. Looks like William, and it's going to be a free kick to St. Vincent and the Grenadines quickly taken. And one of the things that I appreciate about this Vincentian outfit under head coach Hendrickson, they seem prepared to build from the back and move forward, Charles, and that is good.
Well, and that's pretty good. And not only that, but it's a young bunch of guys that we have seen as well.
There's goalkeeper Dondre Abraham getting his first game for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's in the UK, and there's an infringement against St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Looks like Jamal York, the guilty player, and it is a free kick to the British Virgin Islands in a pretty decent position. We have Williams is there wearing that number 11 shirt, and it seems as if he's going to be the one taking it. Also there is Wilshire. Is it Wilshire?
This looked like it was taken by William Green.
Yes, it is. So a two-man wall being put in place by the Vincy Heat under the floodlights here at the ARNOS Stadium. A cricket stadium, but a wonderful facility with a good outfield, and here it comes and nodded just onto the crossbar, and I believe there would have been an instance there for an offside. Free kick quickly taken, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines with Dimitri Thomas coming up the right side. Ball knocked back in defense there to what looks like Thomas, and finds that's Nasser McBurnett. Still with it, McBurnett goes back to Charles. So St. Vincent and the Grenadines early in this, the first half. Ball now moved from right to left, and the tall lanky figure of Charles picking this one up. Looks for and finds Bishon Richards, but he knocks it back, and looking quite patient, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and it's a hallmark of the game that they certainly had in Chile last Sunday. Certainly not rushing things and taking their time, and it all goes well for the development of the team. But here's this one on the left side. Looks like Garrett Ledgerwood. Cross comes in now, and still with Vincy Heat. Ledgerwood takes a shot. It's high, wide, over the crossbar, and no composure there. And the first attack coming from St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Well, yes, it was a nice ball for Bishon Richards. He was looking for someone coming through that center. It was not. He came across the goal. Ledgerwood was just there, not really making the best use of that. And that went wide over the bar.
Splat with the ball at this point in time. Goal kick was quickly taken. Drills this one down the center, and looking there for a green shirt to run onto. It's knocked back by the Vincentian defense, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines now with possession through Charles, going back to Jamal York, who captained the side last time around. But Nasser, that's Zena Solomon back in the squad, sat out the entire game last Sunday, but once again being given the opportunity to captain St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Solomon now with possession. He's closely marked, he is, but takes this one close to the corner flag and was looking to knock it back there to Bishon Richards. Whistle going, and I believe Solomon might very well have been in an offside position. And the free kick awarded to the British Virgin Islands. Splat at the top of the 18 has Wilshire to his left, and to his right is Yardanov, but he chooses to go down the middle. Nodded away there by Charles, and the man in green still has possession. Going right back there to Splat, who's out of his area, and now brings Yardanov into play. It's strange to see a number 10 in defense, Charlo. Yeah. We don't normally see that.
Normally the number 10, he's always up front.
Here's Wilshire, the British Virgin Islands. Cuts into the middle, and they're forced to right back, and there we see goalkeeper Splat playing very high out of his box, and finds Wilshire. Knocked into the middle there to Williams, turns nicely Williams, and will now go down the left side. There is Marshall, but couldn't keep it in, and ball goes out of touch for Trent to St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Still early days yet, we're just in the 7th minute, and still a 0-0 affair.
Young Johnson, of course, his father Elton Johnson would have been in the uprights of St. Vincent and the Grenadines many years ago. Not so good touch firstly there by Garrett Ledgerwood, and BVI winning possession once again. Goalkeeper Splat. Let's see if he'll try to go down the middle or go to his left or right. Goes to his left and finds Wilshire, and Wilshire with some space there to Marshall, knocks it back into the middle, and robbed of it St. Vincent and the Grenadines through Nasser McBurnett. With possession going right back to goalkeeper Dondre Abraham, and a youngster who I saw in an interview today. Abraham says he's pretty much looking forward to this game, and understand he's from the Mesopotamia era. This one is floated forward nonetheless. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, well, he's in an offside position. That's Milton Joseph.
Moving a little too early.
Yes, certainly. And caught in an offside position. A youngster who's based in Canada. So it's a good mix of overseas and locally based players here. Of course, Coach Edra Hendrickson, as he would have stated early on, giving everybody a look in. St. Vincent and the Grenadines has 2 World Cup qualifying games coming up in June. On the 4th, they will be taking on Anguilla. And then on the 10th, we'll be journeying to Puerto Rico to challenge the Puerto Ricans, Charlo.
Well, certainly. So this is good work for Vincy Heat, having 2, 3 warm-ups prior to those encounters. And already coming off of 2 victories, 3-1 and 3-0 victory against St. Kitts. And here they would want to do the similar thing against the BVI.
Garrett Ledgerwood now trying to get into the 18-yard box, closely marked. There is Zeno Solomon, and goes back out there to what looks like, well, it's going to be knocked out of touch, and it's going to be the first corner kick of the game, I believe, awarded to St. Vincent and the Grenadines in this, the 9th minute. And going across to take it, it looks as if it's Milton Joseph. So too is Bishon Richards, who's going across. And we'll soon find out indeed which one of these guys in the yellow shirts will be taking. They're both at the corner flag. Charlo, pretty interesting. And Joseph stands there as they say, well, this is mine, Bishon. And now look to float this in just at the top of the 6-yard box. It's headed just over the crossbar. Nice, decent header there from Azino Solomon. Didn't keep it down to the level that he would wish to, but a decent corner kick as we have a look at it again.
A beautiful corner. Zeno getting ahead on it, but not being able to control, and went over the crossbar for a goal kick.
So goalkeeper Splat finds Wilshire on the left, going back to Splat, and it's to hope that he has a good one here tonight, Splat. Again, we see him going down that middle. They seem to have that plan going through the middle. The British Virgin Islands. Ball is with Yadonov. Robbed of it, and whistle going, fouling Zeno Solomon in the process, and will get a yellow card. Certainly, had Zeno Solomon been allowed to go through there,
that could have spelled some danger.
Certainly. And the referee, McNanaman Beddo, Grenadian, here tonight, carrying the whistle immediately. Of course, showing the yellow card there to.
But certainly, Yadanov decided to take one for the team.
Without a doubt. So we're into the 11th minute, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines with a free kick can make that maybe some 35 yards out. And ball being spotted there. And close attendance for the BVI is Johari Lacey. Now moves back into that 3-man wall. And referee Badu just going to have a word with some of those players, as we see there. Bishon Richards, and also present is Gareth Ledgerwood. And both players still very much over the ball as we await. Well, as a matter of fact, not on screen, but the referee Badu just having a discussion with 2 players there, and it looks as if it's going to be Gareth Ledgerwood. No, it is not Richards, and nodded away by Wilshire. It was making its way through, but Wilshire, a very tall defender, and just nodded it away, clearing the danger there for the BVI. Here's Jamal York. Stalwart in defense of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Had a mixed game last Sunday, and ball now nodded into the path of Azino Solomon. Still has possession. Solomon. Cross comes in now, and there's a big tall figure of Wilshire. Can only find Gareth Ledger. Wilshire now, sorry, that's, well, the BVI winning possession on the left side and with Larcy. And he goes from left to right. Player first touch not the best, but doing enough to still hang on to it. And ball in there knocked away for a throw-in to St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Well, both teams still trying to find that ascendancy, trying to get control in not yet seeing that level of control that you would expect, but it's still a nil-nil affair.
So here's Vincy Heat now trying to build. Ball is with Thomas. Cuts into the middle there. Given up once again to the BVI. And knocked away by the defense. St. Vincent and the Grenadines now with Bishon Richards on the left side. Has a Zena Solomon on the inside. He decides to cut and pushing this one through for Milton Joseph, possibly to run onto, but Splat read it very early.
Certainly a little too much on that.
Yes.
Joseph definitely couldn't get there.
Charles, deep in defense. Decided to go back to Jamal York. And York now pushes it on the left side through the middle lane now to Milton Joseph. Pushed in the back Joseph, but did enough to hang on to it. It's right back to York, finding a goalkeeper who had to rush very quickly there. But in the end, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, well, danger not yet averted. It's with Williams into the middle. And I think this is an area that, you know, the coach really certainly has to have a look at, as we see that one being knocked out of touch of the Vincentian player there. There are too many moments within our defense where we're not coming up to trump, so to speak. Charlie.
Well, it's certainly a little bit of too much pressure. I think there's a little difficulty of clearing it, getting out from that defensive area.
Throwing now to the BVI, out of the way. And this one might very well go out of touch. Both players claiming it, but it looks as if it's going to be a corner kick. It is. So the British Virgin Islands win their first corner kick of the game. It's 0-0 in this the 15th minute. And coming across to take it is Williams. That's Green, sorry, William Green. And his neck of the woods is a double surname, Jarlo.
Yes, certainly.
William Green. We notice that there's someone who's down in the St. Vincent and the Grenadines penalty area. It looks as if it's Dimitri Thomas who's down. The physio is there, giving him some attention. And apparently he might have
in number 5
received some.
Charles says he's back to his feet.
Is it Charles?
It looks like it's Charles.
Okay, well, he's back up. And as a matter of
just going
fact,
to the sideline.
yes. So Green just waiting to take this very first corner kick for the British Virgin Islands in the 16th minute here of this international friendly, and not the best of corner kicks. Certainly could have done much better than that, but St. Vincent and the Grenadines looking to break out of defense. Ball upfield now. And Garrett Ledgerwood is there. He's very quick, Ledgerwood. And gets past the defender now into this 18-yard area. Gets around one, takes a shot, and a good save there by Splat. Well, wonderful effort.
I think it's Beckles in goal, but a good work by the goalkeeper. Ledgerwood had that good run down the right, cut inside. Goalkeeper just getting a hand to it, enough for us to push it across the outside the upright for a corner.
Well, Garrett Ledgerwood, he certainly had to take that shot because there were no yellow shirts within close attendance, and some good work there by Garrett Ledgerwood indeed. So St. Vincent and the Grenadines with their second corner kick of the game. And it's going to be taken by Milton Joseph. Joseph, of course, based in Canada. Corner kick comes in now. The heads are up, and it's just wide.
Is that off the head of Johnson?
Yes, it is. Off the head of Andrew Johnson. And goal kick will be awarded. One of the things, Charlo, we see Coach Hendrickson, he's certainly put on the scouting boots, so to speak. He's been up and down looking for Vincentian players. Of course, we recently had a change of the law with regards to representation for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Football Federation and Coach Hendrickson really and truly using that.
Well, it's certainly you have once you have access, then you use it to the best of your ability, and really he's been scouting a wide group to choose from, and he's trying to give as many players that exposure, trying to come up with the right mix going into these qualifiers.
Here is an overlapping Thomas, but couldn't keep that one in, and it's going to be a throw into the British Virgin Islands. So it's still 0-0 in this, the 18th minute, and there's Wilshire getting it back to his goalkeeper's flat. He's been certainly having a substantial amount of action, goalkeeper's flat. Dondre Abraham, on the other hand, has had one or two moments. Ball back in the BVI half with Wilshire. And there is Yadunov, but he's closely marked by Zeno Solomon. Ball ricocheted into the path of Splat. And he has now full control. And this time goes to his left. There is Dimitri Thomas with possession. Going back there to goalkeeper Abraham. So the likes of Gowan Davis and of course Samuel Bristol, who had a good season this year for the Predators, of course sitting it out on the bench tonight, of course giving that opportunity to Abraham.
Interestingly, Eddie, looking at the Vincy Heat in terms of the bench and the likes, the name that is absent, that of DL Spring, would have really done a lot of work in the Premier Division.
Well, I believe Spring would have gotten a bit of a knock in the game at the Chile playing field, and rested for this for the international here tonight. But he's certainly been a tower strength, especially in the midfield for Vincy Heat. All is now upfield. Wilshire will get there first, and nice first touch by Wilshire. But give it up there to Azina Solomon. Solomon goes into the middle, was looking there for Nassim McBurnett, but ill-directed, and easy work there for goalkeeper Splat.
Certainly easy work for the goalkeeper, a little too much, too wide of the McBurnett, who was unable to get to that, and the goalkeeper just holding on to it a little longer.
That's Yadunov finding now Wilshire, who's seen a lot of and had a lot of possession thus far for the night. So to Yadunov, there's been certainly a high concentration of play in this, the BPI half. Jamal York going back there to goalkeeper Abraham, finding Nasir McBurnett. Of course, McBurnett is locally based, plays for Canton at Chelsea. I believe he'd have had some semi-professional time in Antigua, but I believe he's back home in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. As here comes Nigel Charles now with possession on the left side. Charles into the path of Milton Joseph, but Joseph robbed of it there. As a matter of fact, fouling.
The onside flag was also up.
Didn't even notice that. And Jake Forbes was there. He's going to leave it for Yadunov to take this free kick for the British Virgin Islands. And once again we see goalkeeper Splat. As if he's toying around with the Vincentian attackers. He has to be careful, Splat, and giving away an unnecessary throw it there to Vincy Heat.
Certainly, I think looking for the number 10, he was caught flat-footed really, and that went out and for a throw-in for Vincy Heat.
That's it, Burnett losing his footing, but he gained it very quickly indeed. Searching ball, was looking there for Gareth Ledgerwood, but it's very short play indeed. And
yeah, the idea was a good one, but Ledgerwood really not having the height to get that. He acknowledged the pass and said they had a good idea, but I just had a little too much on it.
So it's going to be yet another throw-in, this time for the BPI team. And there we see the coach of the British Virgin Islands, head coach David Perez, getting a little a bit of a kick, so to speak, as Marshall with this throw in. Regains possession, robbed of it there by Zeno Solomon to Garrett Ledgerwood. Quite a number of green shirts surrounding him, loses possession. As a matter of fact, fouled in the process.
I think by now the BVI players would definitely understand that Ledgerwood could be very, very slippery in that, and not giving him that room, that freedom to get around the players. And he was brought down.
York was looking for Bishon Richards, but Gallimore got a boot in first, knocked it out of touch for a throw-in. And St. Vincent now with Johnson, it appears too, who's looking there and finds, well, ball is out of touch. And throw-in awarded there, of course, to the British Virgin Islands. So it's not the large crowd that we would have had during that Jamaica game, of course, Charlo. This being an international friendly. But one can say, you know, it's just a fair turnout here tonight, thus far.
Looking around, it's certainly a pretty decent turnout, although we had expected to see a lot more persons here at ARNOS VALE. And this danger not yet averted when cleared, but it's BVI who is looking to put some pressure on the defense for Vincy Heath.
Yes, at the top of the 18-yard box, but robbed of it. And St. Vincent, well, fouled in the process. So immediately going there, it looks like the Dimitri Thomas who was brought down. And free kick to Vincy Heath. Still 0-0 in this, the 25th minutes. And we're yet to see that fast-paced game that we've been accustomed to this St. Vincent and the Grenadines outfit, Jarlo.
Yeah, but certainly it has really not picked up that momentum. Ball now searching one on the left side, right side, but it's way ahead of Garrett Ledgerwood. And couldn't get there in time. Short legs, goal kick will result. And the tall, lanky Jerry Wilshire applies a straight with Hampton and Richmond in the BVI. Knocks it back into the path of goalkeeper Splat. Splat has to be careful. He's been taunting the Vincentian forwards for on a couple of occasions. It just takes one missed kick to create some issue, some problem, Charlo.
Well, definitely.
Well, all in the St. Vincent and the Grenadines half is with Green. William Green, for the men in green, still have possession. And there is still with the BVI. It's with the number 2 player who's Javier, who's looking there for Forbes, but he's robbed of it. As a matter of fact, the ball is out of touch.
It's good defensive work. It looks like Charles on that side just shadowing it and allowing it to go out of touch for a goal kick. Still 0-0 and we are in the 27th minute.
So here comes Jamal York. Finds Nigel Charles. Charles into the middle for Kenija Joseph. Back to Charles. And St. Vincent once again showing that patience as Nasser McBurnett will look to knock it onto the right side. And still under control of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Here now is Milton Joseph turning very quickly as Garrett Ledgerwood ahead of him and deciding to knock it back. And now we look to bring what looks like it's actually Nigel Charles over there, but it's just a little too much on that one, and it's out of touch for a throw-in. So Yardanov there to Splat. One thing missing here tonight is the drummers, Charlo.
Drummers, the party stand.
Andre Abraham came out of his 18-yard box, and as a matter of fact, knocked that into the area for the match coordinator. And it's going to be a train to the British Virgin Islands. There is Wilshire. Looks on finds Green. And Green was probably looking to get Marshall going there, but just a little too much on it. And it's out of touch for a train to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Dimitri Thomas will take that throw. Finds Milton Joseph and knocked away, but it's against St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So we notice that Coach Edra Henderson is up, and might very well be saying, come on guys, we're almost 30 minutes into this one, we need to be a bit more swift, as St. Vincent and the Grenadines now on the right side. Ball knocked into the part of Azino Solomon, but couldn't bring it onto the control that he would have loved to see. And eventually cleared there by Javier, as the British Virgin Islands now move down the left side with well, that ball is knocked away, as a matter of fact. There's Garrett Ledgerwood, and bundles into a green shirt Marshall, who's like a brick wall standing in his way. Wrote a foul in the process. And I believe there's an actual mix-up of the names. Goalkeepers Frankie Beckles and not Splat. Splat is that forward wearing the number 16 shirt. But here is Azino Solomon. Ledgerwood, short legs, but he gets there in time. Gets around the defender, still with it, with a chugging, and it's full of, in the end. Well, some anxious moments there for the BVI.
But certainly some anxious moments for BVI, and there was Ledgerwood really looking to worm his way into the center, and really had a couple shirts, green shirts around him. There was a little bit of tugging really. I don't think the referee really was in a position to pick that up. And I think that would have impacted in some way or the other, but Ledgerwood was really looking to get around the defense, so they will have to be very careful with him.
And it looked as if there might very well have been a handle ball there by, looks like Wilshire. Let's look at it again. That might have just come off
just around the shoulder area.
Well, there's no VAR here. So that one went unnoticed as goalkeeper Beckles, not Splat. Beckles it is. That drives this one upfield. And free kicks to St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
So still 0-0. Nothing to cheer about at the moment.
I say Mark Burnett decides to go from right to left. Still has possession. Finds what looks like Nigel Charles, throws it forward, looking there for Azino Solomon, and plucked out to the air by goalkeeper Beckles. That's Frankie Beckles, plays for a club called Wembley FC. And Beckles now looks for and finds what looks like Marshall. Down the left side, Marshall, close to the marks. As a matter of fact, there's a bit of pulling on the part of what looks like Johnson. And referee Bado, very close indeed, and immediately sounding his whistle. Free kick to the BVI. So William Green it is. So too there is Gally Moore. And leaves it for Green. That's William Green on your screen. Takes a one-time and in the end, goalkeeper after the second attempt.
It's going to be a corner.
Looks
like. Is it? Oh, free kick.
Quickly taken. Here comes what looks like Bishon Richards. Richards cuts in, gets past 1, 2, 3, and it's pulled down. That has to be a yellow card.
Well, it is.
And Richards weaving his way through the defense there, and shirt tugging there by Christian Javier. And bundled to the ground. Free kick to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He had 1, 2, 3, 4 green shirts around him, and certainly was weaving his way through. But Christian Javier would have none of it. And there you go, pulling him down to the ground.
The referee was in the perfect position to see that as well.
So St. Vincent and the Grenadines down with a free kick. Ledgerwood, Thomas, and McBurnett there. Our 4-man wall in place. It's going to be taken by Bishon Richards, and in the end, a fairly comfortable save there for goalkeeper Beckles.
Well, certainly didn't have the power behind it that you anticipated, and Beckles covering the angle well, clutched it, and the score remains 0-0.
So St. Vincent and the Grenadines with certainly a significant amount of possession here tonight. They've been in and around that 18-yard box for on quite a number of occasions, but yet to open up their scoring, and that ought to be some concern for Coach Hendrickson, who's been up on the touchline for the last 5 minutes or thereabouts. We see the whistle going, and the physio being called in for the BVI team. Play on the ground. That is it's not Javier. It's Gallimore.
It's Gallimore.
Yes. Gallimore might have just gotten I don't know, looks as if he got a little touch in the eye, possibly. I just get some water, yes. And he's back up very quickly indeed. Gallimore. And one or two of the players from the BVI taking the opportunity to get some liquid as we certainly have a look at possibly.
Joseph, you can see that the right hand.
Yes.
Just being caught around the left eye.
Here is Green. Looks for, finds Marshall on the left side. Marshall gets past Garrett Ledgerwood, but ran into Nasser McBurnett, but it's going to be a throw into the BPI. To be taken by Marshall. Garrett Ledgerwood deep in defiance, finding Nasser McBurnett. He looks for Richards, but Javier was there first though. Gets the return ball. Cross comes in, and in the end it's into the side netting, and it's going to be a corner kick for the BVI. Not a bad build-up by the BVI team there.
Certainly not a bad play. It was beautifully intercepted by the number 2. And that's Javier, and really worked down the flank. So good build-up on the part of the BVI, but in the end, the efforts were not giving the reward he was looking for, but they have earned themselves a corner.
So there we see.
Coming off the number 8, looks like it was Kenija Joseph.
Certainly Kenija Joseph getting that last touch. Corner kick comes in now, and shot is taken. It's just off the line there by Dimitri Thomas, and fobs down, looking it back in, and in the end into the arms there of Dondre Abraham. So a little bit of pressure.
Moments there, 80 for St. Vincent.
Certainly, ball down upfield now. Garrett Ledgerwood, I doubt he's going to get there. Well, he certainly does. That's Marshall with him, and ball is knocked away by Marshall. It's going to be a corner kick. So end-to-end action, Charlo.
Yes, so just a bit of anxious moment for the Vincy Heat a while ago, but in the end, the clear danger averted, and the counter-attack was good. And Ledgerwood not allowed to work his way back into that 18-yard box, so a corner resulting. And is that see number 20 in Joseph?
Milton Joseph, it is. Joseph floats it in and knocks away. And in the end, it's out of touch for a throw into the BVI.
Still 0-0. And both teams still looking for that elusive goal to break the ice. So it's still with the BVI. It's going to be a free kick.
So back in the BVI half, and Beckles find Yardonov. Keen, you don't normally see a number 10 in defense, but Yardonov certainly being wearing that number 10 shirt in that right back position for the British Virgin Islands. And ball now knocked back into the path of goalkeeper Abraham, finds Johnson.
And we know the familiar number 10 of Diego Maradona.
Yes.
A bit of news where one of the judges had to step down from themselves in a bit of documentary about the case. So a retrial, I think, has been scheduled.
Well, it's a throw into St. Vincent, and the Grenadines fairly close to that corner flag on this, the left side. Nigel Charles finding Richards. Xavier's day and wins possession for the BVI. Forces is upfield, was looking to possibly get Gallimore going, but in the process knocked it out of touch.
Richards not giving him the space, the freedom.
Here is the BVI once again. Chalwell gets the return ball with some space. Chalwell, but Matt Burnett was very quick there indeed. As a matter of fact, a little too exuberant, fouling in the process. He's gesticulating at the referee Badu, and now being asked to come away there by Johnson. And the referee is the one who's in charge and ruling that it was not a legal tackle there by Nasir McBurnett. Looks as if it's going to be Jake Forbes, who's been taking a lot of the free kicks and corner kicks here for this BVI team. And let's have a look at it. Definitely fouled there by Nasir McBurnett. Caught from behind.
Yes, that's certainly. Yeah.
Forbes floats it in straight into the arms of goalkeeper Abraham. Was out there to Jamal York. York looks for Ledgerwood, but he loses possession through Marshall, and ruled to have fouled Marshall in the process. A free kick to the BVI. So here is Wilshire back to Beckles. Wilshire gets this once again. Now finds Marshall on the left side. And it's off the boot of Garrett Ledgerwood. Applies it straight at Avenues United, a team that has been around for quite a number of years. A team that goes back to the year, to the time of the, those days wasn't the Rick Superstars, but the likes of Waldron, of course. Would have given yeoman service to that community and to Avenues United.
So we are in the 43rd minute and still 0-0.
That one booted away by Marshall. Sensing that he's fairly close to the end of this, the first half. And wouldn't want to go into the dressing room with any deficit. As a matter of fact, Root fouled in the process. It's St. Vincent and the Grenadines with a free kick. Johnson to York. Finds McBurnett. Massey McBurnett. Nice decent ball there to Zeno Solomon. And flag is up, found to be offside.
Well, the intention was a very good one. Again, looking to get Solomon coming through that center, and there was really a little bit too early on the move. And again, the offside flag was up very, very quickly indeed. And so any sort of danger for the BVI was averted.
So goalkeeper Beckles gesticulating to his players. Let's get on with this one. Floats it. Finds what looks like Splat, but he loses possession. And Wilshire's going to pick this one up, still with the men in green. William Green now on the right side. He's close to the mark, Green, and knocked away. And there we see a bit of pushing and tugging as Massey McBurnett falling in the process.
And again,
pushing Splat to the turf. And he has to be careful, McBurnett. Now being
certainly
spoken
would
to.
have to be. You can see referee having a word with him.
Pushing in the back there.
Yes, that is it, clearly.
So we await this free kick as we have a look at that foul once again. Floated in now, and it's in the back of the nets. The BVI with the opener here tonight, and looks as if it is off the boot of is it Wilshire? Let's have a look again. It is Wilshire, and opening goal there for the British Virgin Islands, leading the St. Vincent and the Grenadines team by a 1-0. Goal coming in this the 45th minute. So there we see, of course, the first goal for tonight's encounter, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines going down.
Well, certainly, I think they will remember St. Kitts, they were 1 goal down and came back to win 3-1. Maybe this might be a wake-up call.
Certainly ought to be a wake-up call for Vincy Heat as they have possession now on the right side. And ball knocked upfield into added time. Knocked away there by Marshall, realizing that his team has that 1 goal advantage. And coming in to take that through, it looks as if it's going to be Dimitri Thomas. Might look to have one. Well, he goes short there to Garrett Ledgerwood. Closely Marcus Ledgerwood. And Ledgerwood gets around one, runs out to real estate. As a matter of fact, the flag is up, and I believe it's a goal kick. It is a goal kick.
He just went out, I think. So the assistant referee Barker was right on the line. The referee having a quick look at his watch. I think the whistle might go anytime for half-time.
Beckles taking his time indeed. Not rushing it, but he floats this one upfield. BPI once again with another attack. And St. Vincent and the Grenadines will look to counter on this the left side. Solomon loses possession, and there is men in green bringing this one under control with Yardonov. Finds Gallimore. Gallimore now to Wilshire, the goal scorer. To Marshall. So they're knocking it around the BVI. Green now to Marshall. And certainly this British Virgin Islands team, showing that they're not going to be any walkover here tonight. They've had possession for the last 2 minutes thereabout. And whistle going infringement against, guess who? I say Matt Burnett.
And Matt Burnett is still there.
So, free kick to the BVI. And goalkeeper Beckles, I believe, will come up to take this free kick. Sook is going to take his time, Beckles. And one that is going to find its way out of touch.
I think there goes the whistle for the half time. So they will regroup. They will have some work to do. Vincy Heat.
Certainly, without a doubt, we'll have some work to do. St. Vincent and the Grenadines have had their fair share of possession, had the more possession in my opinion, had some opportunities, didn't certainly capitalize. And they're going into the dressing room 1-0 down. No doubt Coach Hendrickson will have a lot to say.
But certainly Hendrickson, he was on the touchline, had some time to look at his players, and they would have to spend some time looking at where we could have done better. And they come back in the second half and we look to really push things on and come away with a victory.
All right, so we come back to you in the next 15 minutes to certainly break through the second 45 minutes.
Welcome to the ARNOS Sporting Senior, where tonight St. Vincent and the Grenadines will take on the British Virgin Islands in an international friendly. Standing right next to me is head coach for Team SVG, Mr. Ezra Hendrickson. Good night, and how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Good night. It's a wonderful night out, so we're ready to play some good football.
All right, so you're coming off the back of a win versus St. Kitts Nevis. What can we expect from Team Vincy tonight?
Well, we have a rotated squad because basically these 3 games, the game against St. Kitts in St. Kitts, last Sunday in Georgetown, and then tonight is basically a rehearsal for all the players that we have in camp. You know, this is where guys get a chance, an opportunity to show that they belong, because we have to pick a squad for Wednesday's match versus Anguilla. So it's another opportunity for guys to come out and you know, like I said, show that they belong and make our jobs as coaches difficult, because we want to put the best, strongest side on the pitch come Wednesday.
All right, so thank you so much for your time. I know you have to continue preparing for tonight's match, and all the best.
Thank you very much. I just want to tell the fans to look out for a very good match tonight. The guys are ready. They've trained well this week, and we're ready to go.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Imagine the South Coast without its magic. No sound of waves rolling against the shore. No birds diving into the crystal clear waters. No laughter on the beaches. Our South Coast is a source of life and livelihood. It's a sanctuary for fishermen who rise with the sun, casting their nets to bring fresh seafood to our tables. But they face growing challenges, rising sea temperatures, storms, and pollution, which threaten their way of life and the very fish they rely on. For our hoteliers, the South Coast is an irreplaceable attraction, inviting travelers from around the world. Yet, with climate change, storms grow stronger, and beach erosion steals away the beauty we all cherish. For marine tour operators, every dive and tour is an invitation to witness the magic below the waves. But pollution and coral bleaching are threatening these habitats, and with them, our chance to experience the wonders of the underwater world. For residents, this coast is home, a place to raise families, to feel the sea breeze, and to watch our children play on clean sands. But pollution and litter are changing this place, bringing the threat of a coastline lost. Imagine if all of this just disappeared. No fish, no corals, no sandy beaches. We have a choice. We can protect the South Coast, or we can watch it fade. Together, we can preserve this place for generations to come. Every action matters. Every choice counts. So join us in protecting the South Coast.
Where we going? Big jam. Where we going? Big jam. Pull up the parking lot ram. Line by the door don't long. Where we going? Big jam. Who playing a big band? False alarm, false alarm. The lights turn off, lights turn off. The whole place lit. Yeah. Your team lit. Yeah. My team lit. Watch TV, my mother tell me see and where we going? Big jam. Where we going? Big jam. Who playing a big band? Who playing a big band? Where we going? Big jam. Where we going? Big jam. Who playing a big band?
Island Guild. Whole place lit when we link up, yeah.
Yes, what I do.
The British Virgin Islands won, and I believe that there are some changes for the St. Vincent and Grenadines team. I believe Nassim Burnett is out. In is Tevin Thompson, and as we go along, certainly I believe Jamari Lynch is also in. Out is Dimitri Thomas. And St. Vincent and Grenadines now defending the goal to the southern end, kicking towards the northern end quite naturally. Lynch finding Khadija Joseph in the midfield. And there is York picking it up for the Ben Sanchez now.
Courtney Franklin is also in.
Yeah, though that's pace that he brings with him certainly is what is required in this the second half. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, of course, 1-0 down, and will be looking forward to pull that goal back as early as possible. Thrown there by the BVI as they look to come forward. It's Green, and ball nonetheless to St. Vincent and the Grenadines with Jamari Lynch, who had a pretty good first half in that international friendly played last Sunday against St. Kitts at the Chile playing field. But the British Virgin Islands now with possession in the middle of the park. Ball now on the right side, and nice neat ball into the path of Forbes, it looks like, has Nigel Charles with him, and twisting and turning, it's actually BVI still now with possession. And that one, unfortunately, not finding the player intended, Chalwell, as a matter of fact. And goal kick to St. Vincent and the Grenadines too will be taken by goalkeeper Dondre Abraham. Abraham just puts it into the path of Jamal York, wore the captain's armband last Sunday. Finds it all in lanky Nigel Charles. Charles into the path of Tevin Thompson, and this one is out of touch for yet another throw-in to the BVI team. And no doubt Coach Hendrickson would have had some choice words in this during the break.
One would anticipate that would have happened, and I think you just saw where they were looking for Courtney Franklin on that side. Had a little too much on it, and Franklin, although he had that pace, really couldn't get there, and resulted in a throw-in for the BVI.
Khadija Joseph picking it up in the midfield, knocks it into the path of Nigel Charles. Going down that left side is Courtney Franklin, skips past one Franklin, still with possession. Was looking there for Garrett Ledgerwood. Gets around one, Ledgerwood knows, deciding to come back out. The cross is in now, and Beckles right in behind it. And certainly Beckles has been called into action on so many occasions this encounter thus far. But he's kept the Vincentian forwards at bay, Jalo.
Well, certainly looking a little bit more purposeful within the first few minutes here of the second half. And some fresh legs.
Charles going back there to Abraham. Abraham, British based, finds Johnson. Johnson still in possession. Looks for and finds, looks like Joseph knocks it back into the path of Johnson. Ledgerwood. So ball now floated down the right side. Tevin Thompson it is, but first there is Marshall, knocked it away, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines with a throw-in to be taken by Lynch. Plays it straight to the UFC, nodded away by the defense, and yet another throw for the Vincy Heat. So here is Johnson, Thompson. I was looking there for Charles to run on to a bit of a battle, actually Lynch as a matter of fact, and St. Vincent with yet another throw in. And that's a corner kick, came off the boot of Marshall.
Certainly, I think Vincy Heat would have done some homework. They have looked a little bit more aggressive in the first few minutes, and looking to put some pressure on BVI, looking for that equalizer, and then try to go move ahead.
Hilton Joseph it is with the corner kick, floated in, the heads are up, and over that outstretched arm of goalkeeper Beckles, I believe it's going to be a throw into the BVI. So St. Vincent and the Grenadines, let's have a look at this one. Might very well be, yes it is, the BVI's ball. As a matter of fact, went out of touch for a goal kick. Would have missed that one. Beckles. As we have a look at the corner kick. And just over the outstretched arm of goalkeeper Thompson. But here's Vincey Heat now with possession. Jamal York looks for, finds Courtney Franklin. Franklin still with it. Goes back there to Tevin Thompson. Into the middle there. Was looking for Khadija Joseph, but finds what looks like Joseph. Ball now floated towards the goal. And they're going down. There was a huge roar from the crowd. Shot now taken by Garrett Ledgerwood. It's over the crossbar. And goal kick will result there. So let's see, have a look at that.
So it's going to be it's a goal kick for the BVI.
Ball now on the left side there is with the British Virgin Islands. Lacey. Green picks it up, finds Wilshire. Whistle going, and it is against the BVI. Might probably be Green the guilty person. And Green knocking it away, but free kick is taken, looking for Courtney Franklin, and Franklin, good first touch, but didn't do enough to keep it in, and it's going to be yet another throw-in.
So BVI still leading 1-0. We are in the 53rd minute.
And we see the entire bench of the BVI up. Not on screen as play continues. All given away there now. It's with, well, St. Vincent and the Grenadines through Courtney Franklin, and the ball rebounded off of the BVI player there. In
so it's a throw in, Nigel Charles.
Yes. Garrett Ledgerwood. Still that battle for possession. St. Vincent and the Grenadines looking to hustle the BVI players off the ball, trying not to give them that sort of comfort that they were given in the first half. And ball is out of touch. It's going to be a throw to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Letch, the player, coming over to take it. Finds Milton Joseph. Khadija Joseph floats it in, but well, given away there to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. As here is Khadija Joseph in the midfield. Goes to his right. Gets the return ball. Joseph. Thompson looks for Garrett Ledgerwood. Cross comes in and is knocked away by the defense there for the BVI, saving the day.
Corner. So good work by Vincey Heat. A good build up. But again, we can see the defense for the BVI standing firm.
Certainly, they have this 1-0 lead, and no doubt will want to maintain it. But St. Vincent and the Grenadines will certainly have different intentions. In this, the 55th minute, Milton Joseph to take the corner kick. And again to that far post. Whistle going, and I believe it's against St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So Wilshire finds Beckles. Here's Courtney Franklin. Nigel Charles. Azina Solomon with the cross. And the defender in Marshall going to the turf, holding on to that right leg. Might have gotten a bit of a cramp there, Marshall. Meantime, there should be a throw-in for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Referee Badu is going across now to have a look. As Nigel Charles.
Well, the referee has signaled to the bench. And you can see the physio now making his way out. Looks like he's having some serious cramps.
To the pair that way. There's the physio now making his way in. Marshall up now and actually making his way off to ensure that all is well with his physique, so to speak. York finds Thompson. Thompson floats it over there now to, looks like Garrett Ledgerwood at some space. Ledgerwood, the cross comes in now. And there's that attempt by the St. Vincent and the Grenadines team to keep attacking on that left side. It really and truly hasn't come off, Charlo.
Well, yes, I think Ledgerwood was looking for Courtney Franklin and a little too much on it. Franklin couldn't hold it and couldn't keep it in, and it went out and in for a goal kick for the BVI.
Beckles now being spoken to by referee Badu, saying don't have any time for time wasting, let's get it on, Beckles. Ball with St. Vincent and the Grenadines is with, well, that's Solomon, shirt being tugged, no whistle, and in the end it's with into the path of Kanija Joseph. Joseph knocks it back and should have taken that one-time shot. Well, Milton Joseph.
He should have, but I think they have gotten a corner by the last 5 or so minutes. Well, from the start of the second half, the action seemed to be in the half of the BVI. And so you can see that the Vincentians have a bit more purpose than what we have seen in the first half.
Courtney Franklin now with a corner kick. Floated in and knocked away off the boots of what looks like
seems to be the defender for the BVI.
So we're going to be having...
going to be a substitution.
Yes.
I think number 7. The number 11 is going to come off and on would go number 7, it looks like.
Yes, Green is coming out for BVI and Joel Mars will come in.
And also number 3 seem to be coming off.
That's Marshall. And coming in is Aaron Matthews. So double change for the British Virgin Islands. Green, who I think was having a fairly good game. I'm surprised that he's been taken out, Charlo.
You're surprised that Green has been pulled out?
Yes. There's Kanija Joseph. Looking there for Garrett Ledgerwood. Ledgerwood takes a shot and it ricochets off the defender who just came in there. That is, looks like Matthews.
It's going to be a corner. So Matthews getting his first touch, but not the way he wanted it.
Garrett Ledgerwood leaving it down for Courtney Franklin. Corner kick is taken into the gloves there, goalkeeper Beckles. So St. Vincent is going to pick it up with Lynch. Lynch loses possession. And this might be some anxious moment for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And the shot is taken, but it's wide of that left upright. And in the end, a goal kick resulting.
Well, again, you can see the defensive work from the Vincentians, closing him down, not giving him the freedom. He wanted to go back, not sure, and then he just went wide of the goal and out of touch.
So Charles coming back there to Jamal York. York to Thompson. Comes across to Johnson. Johnson deciding to go back on that left side, was looking for Courtney Franklin. I don't believe Franklin was looking for such a ball. He was already making his run. Ball was behind him, out of touch for throw-in.
So for one moment, Franklin was caught a bit flat-footed.
Throw taken now by the BVI. Whistle going, it's a foul on the part of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So we've already seen 60 minutes in this, the second half. Still a 1-goal lead for the British Virgin Islands. I believe that's going to be a throw-in for Vincey Heat. It is. There you see both Hendrickson arms akimbo. I don't think he's too pleased as well as he's seen thus far, Charlo.
Well, certainly he would have had some concerns, and really we have not seen the Vincey being as assertive as he would like them to be.
Johnson, the Ledgerwood, Lynch overlapping on the right side. Cross comes in now, but there are no yellow shirts in that box, and it's out of touch. So not a bad build up on the right side, but cross came in and didn't find any yellow shirt. As we have a look at it just again, there's that cross, but no yellow shirt there to take that offering. Play continues nonetheless. York nodded it out of touch. Meantime, we have the likes of Alex Anderson, Chad Haynes still on the bench.
Yes, the likes of Chad. What a brace at a chilly playing field.
Yes. Player ruled to be offside there for the BVI. St. Vincent and the Grenadines now with a free kick taken by Jamal York. Finds Johnson in that fullback position. Johnson still with it. That's Milton Joseph coming back there to Kenija Joseph. And, well, nice little play there, but lost possession in the end. Shot taken long range, and, well, bit of an anxious moment there. And in the end, it's going to be a goal kick to St. Vincent and the Grenadines with a long range effort. Taken there by the BVI player, and just wide of the upright. There's Jamal York to Tevin Thompson. Thompson to Kenija Joseph. Joseph now finds Johnson into the path of Jamari Lynch, pulling it back. Lynch to Kenija Joseph. So St. Vincent and the Grenadines stringing a couple passes together. This on the right side, and well, I spoke a little too early because they've given it away, and unfortunately given up by the BVI player. So here's that opportunity once again for Vincey Heat to build and come forward. Joseph. Lynch gets the return ball, Milton Joseph. But the BVI player getting a boot in, rushed in the process. But it's still with the British Virgin Islands, and a long, aimless kick that returns it to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. With Andrew Johnson. Finds Kenija Joseph, switches it now to the left side. Courtney Franklin, he's been a lone spectator over there for a bit of a while. Knocks it back into the path of Nigel Charles. Charles still with it. Knocks it further forward, but could only find a green shot. Here's Kenija Joseph with a shot. And certainly had the time and the space, but he really rushed it.
Yes,
and blasted it over the
certainly should
crossbar.
have done a lot better there. Eddie had enough time to settle himself to take a much better shot. Just had a one-time boot, and that went sailing aimlessly over the crossbar.
Well, it is a cricket ground, the ARNOS playing field. I don't know if he was playing cricket or soccer at that juncture, Machalo, but there we see a BPI player being given some assistance in Jake Forbes. And I believe Forbes who limps away.
That's Forbes walking away rather gingerly.
Yes. Making his way off his Forbes, getting a little bit of a liquid in the process. And we just await play to continue, as it's with Beckles. And Beckles giving that one up. St. Vincent and the Grenadines with a throw in taken quickly there by Courtney Franklin to Nigel Charles. The referees are asking for the throw to be retaken. A little too quick for his liking. And now we see a substitution for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Looks like
Joseph seems to be coming out.
Milton Joseph comes out. And
Blake comes in.
Saviola Blake is in. Out also is Azina Solomon. And we'll get the player who just came in a while ago. But Saviola Blake, a diminutive player, but he can certainly create some problems. Coming in for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Here's Khadija Joseph. Crosses in and out to the way. York picking it up. To Nigel Charles. Charles into the path. But there you can see the attack by the Vincy Heat being broken up. And Jamal York just ensuring that that one is out of touch. Quickly take control. Finds Stephen Thompson. To York. Courtney Franklin now with possession. Franklin comes back out there to Saviola Blake. Blake now to Kenija Joseph. Joseph into the path of Jamari Lynch. To Johnson. So, no doubt, St. Vincent and the Grenadines have enjoyed a significant amount of possession. As here's Garrett Ledgerwood running into some green shirt traffic there, but he did enough there. And in the end, it's back with St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Ball now searching one, looking there for Courtney Franklin. Franklin gets into the 18-yard box, is looking to get around the defender, but he'll have none of it. And Forbes will come away with it now on the right side for the British Virgin Islands, looking to have that counter-attack. And the boot coming in there from Kenija Joseph, and being given a yellow card rightfully. Possibly if you can have a look at that replay. Here it is, and he really went in full boot, so to speak. Didn't pull back. Into the shin of Forbes there. In the meantime, we see yet another substitution taking place, this time for the BVI. A player coming out.
Number 20 seems
Jake
to be
Forbes,
coming out.
who was just fouled a while ago. So Forbes comes out for Williams. And the BVI in this is 70th minute, still enjoying a 1-0 lead, Charlo.
Well, a lot of substitutions have taken place.
Ball is in the 18-yard box. Jamal York is there. And the defense, for one moment, looked a little out of sorts, but in the end, it's knocked away And York, very vocal indeed, saying, come on guys, let's pull this thing together.
I can see the number 2 is down for the BVI.
That's Javier. Referee Bordeaux coming over to have a look, and he seemed to be having some cramps. And the physio was about to go in. Well, he's going to continue to go in. And the helper very gingerly walking Javier, asking for some assistance. Limping away, as a matter of fact. Doesn't look too good there for Javier. Might very well be substituted as this throw is taken. Not in the way there by Jamal York. And Williams, who just came in, may very well take that throw for the British Virgin Islands. Long throw into the 18-yard box, nodded away, and leaving it there. As a matter of fact, whistle going, I believe. Play was ruled to be offside, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines through Tevin Thompson now will continue. Searching ball on the right side, looking there for Garrett Ledgerwood. Knocks it into the path of Jamari Lynch, comes back to Johnson. York with possession. The intentions here look good in defense going forward, but from the moment you get into that final third, so to speak, that's where the problem lies.
Yeah, definitely.
Player going down, whistle going, and free kick to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Kenija Joseph.
Pretty interesting area as well.
It is.
For that free kick.
And there's Chad Haynes standing over the ball. He had a fantastic outing against the St. Kitts and Nevis team last Sunday. Had a scorching drive that opened up the scoring for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and from the time that happened, it was as if he just plucked the air out of the sails of the Kittitians.
Well, who's going to take this free kick?
Well, Chad Haynes is there. Let's see what he does with it. Haynes with a curling effort, but I believe it came off the wall. And let's see. Looks as if it's a goal kick.
I think that went sailing over the wall.
Let's have a look at it again. Yes, it was way over the wall. And it certainly did have the curl, but the height was not what St. Vincent and the Grenadines was looking forward to.
Not what you wanted. So we are in the 74th minute. The PVI leads 1-0.
Throw to be taken by, looks like Matthews for the BVI. So it's been a quiet night for the spectators here tonight. I believe we probably have about 2,000-3,000 in there, about shallow, scattered across this facility that has a capacity of about
the various pavilions.
Yes. And that's an infringement there by Courtney Franklin. There was Javier pleading the referee Bordeaux to probably issue that yellow card, and now we see that Olex Anderson is going to come in, so Coach Hendrickson now pulling that trump card, so to speak. So Anderson about to come in with just about 15 minutes or so to go. Kick is taken, nodded away by Kenija Joseph into the path of Saviola Blake, but the green shirt is there first, knocking it out of touch. And we now are going to be having that substitution where Olex Anderson.
Yes, Olex Anderson is coming in. It's going to be pretty interesting, I think, with Kenija Joseph.
Well, York is coming out of defense. So St. Vincent and the
York
Grenadines
goes out.
Yes, adding some fresh legs up and pulling out the defender in the like of Jamal York. And it'll be pretty interesting to see who will drop back in that defensive left back position for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So Coach Hendrickson deciding to throw the kitchen sink, so to speak, at the BVI at this point in time, bringing on Olex Anderson. Saviola Blake finds Thompson to Chad Haynes. He was looking to get
Anderson go in.
Yes, but didn't get it in the direction that he would have loved to. Meantime, Matthews with another throw for the BVI. They've been in this half for the last 5 minutes or thereabout, Charlo.
Well,
there's Yadonov with possession. Going back to Beckles. Beckles down the middle. Andrew Johnson nodding it back, but could only find a green shot. Shot is taken wide and absolutely no danger there for.
Absolutely no problem whatsoever.
So Abraham takes it there now to Nigel Charles. Franklin back to Charles. Tevin Thompson. Looks out to the Hope International Thompson. Going back there to Johnson. And good work there by the PPI player in Matthews to knock it away. Aaron Matthews.
Seems to be a busy player. The moment he came in.
Nigel Charles now with possession, looking there for Courtney Franklin. Franklin with the pace, gets into the 18-yard box. Cross comes in, and it's knocked away, but danger still not yet averted. St. Vincent and the Grenadines still with possession. Blake coming out there, finds Kenija Joseph. Ball now with Jamari Lynch. Knocks it forward. Chad Haynes with a shot. Finds the back of the net. It is the opening goal for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Equalizer, I should say. And Chad Haynes making it 1-1 here tonight. Well, as a matter of fact, I really thought it was into the back of the old onion bat. It's interesting for us to have a look at this one again, Charlo.
Well, certainly. It was looking, was spinning. Let's see. One player is down. It's the number 2. That's Javier.
And he's really been having some problems with his cramps, Javier, but it'll be interesting to have a look at that replay. As you see, it's actually Jamari Lynch with the cross. And, well, I believe he handled the ball in the process. Yes. We didn't pick that one up from a vantage point, Charlo.
Well, certainly his back was to us.
Let's have a look at it again. And onto the arm there of Chad Haynes.
Yes, onto the arms.
So that's why the goal didn't count.
Yes, onto the arms of Chad Haynes.
So still 1-0 in favor of the British Virgin Islands. There we see yet another BVI player, and this time Johari Lacey getting some problems with cramp. But this could very well be a ploy to run the clock down also, Charlo. You never know.
You never know. You never know. Clocking into the 80th minute. The BVI still lead 1-0 here.
And well, essentially they were just leaving the BVI player to come and shot taken, and in the end, here is Courtney Franklin now with possession. Franklin into the path of Chad Haynes. Haynes with some space. Has Olex Anderson ahead of him. As a matter of fact, Franklin now with a cross, and well missed there by, it looks like Garrett Ledgewood.
Team shot.
Vincy Heat now still with possession. cross is in, and as a matter of fact, it's into the arms of goalkeeper Beckles. Oleg Sanderson was there waiting for it. Beckles was there first.
Well, Vincey Heat fighting for that equalizer. Not yet. There. It seems as if there's going to be another substitution, this time for the BVI.
Well, some anxious look on the face of Coach Hendrickson as at one moment he had his hands on his head. It's like, oh my God, what are we doing? Nigel Charles with a nice little flick back there, but in the end, flag is up. Player for St. Vincent and the Grenadines hitting the turf in not so pleasant a way. He remains down, as a matter of fact. And looks as if it's Nigel Charles really fell awkwardly. We now see the physio coming in Siobhan Smith. It's good to see the ladies involved, Charlo.
Seems to be that lower back area.
Awkward fall there by...
Awkward.
Yes.
The way he fell.
Didn't have the opportunity to actually break the fall, so he fell, let's look at it, right on that back. He actually tried to break the fall, but fell on the back in the process. Meantime, there's a substitution taking place for the VVI.
I think number 2, Javier, he goes out.
Charles being helped up, looks and walks very gingerly away. So Javier is out, and looks as if it's Alejandro Santos who's in for the British Virgin Islands. Meantime, Jamari Lynch with possession. Back to Lynch. Khadija Joseph loses possession, Joseph. And BVI immediately giving it up. Player bundled to the ground there. And whistle going. It's going to be a free kick to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That's Malcolm Stewart who was fouled. Saviola Big back to Ledgerwood. Stewart was there. Blake picks it up nonetheless with St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and this, I believe, is going to be a corner kick.
Sliding off the back of the number 16. That's Platt.
So Courtney Franklin is going to take this corner kick for Vincey Heat.
Okay, see some bit of urgency on the part of Vincey Heat.
Corner kick is taken now, headed goalwards and knocked away. Didn't have the pace to, or the legs to get over the line, and the defender was in the place at the right time. Ball still with Vincey Heat. Shot is taken, and what a scorcher! What a goal! Is that an absolute gem? With the equalizer here tonight, Courtney Franklin, let's have a look at it. Scorching drive it is. Beckles, absolutely no chance.
Absolutely no chance whatsoever for Beckles. Right up into the V. And the celebration comes in the 84th minute.
So, equalizer there for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And there we see Oleg Sanderson saying to the guys, come on guys, we've equalized, we need to win this one. Let's not waste any more time. We don't have much time.
A few more minutes.
But it was indeed a wonderful drive by Courtney Franklin. Let's have a look at it again. It's certainly wonderful indeed. St. Vincent and the Grenadines looking to press forward once again. There's Chad Haynes, but the Wilshire's there first. And goalkeeper Beckles knocks it out of touch. It's going to be a throw-in. So That one could not have been kept in. And thrown out to the BVI. That is Aaron Matthews. And you see some urgency as the clock ticks away here tonight. Charles, Nigel. Ball off the boot of a green shirt. And St. Vincent and the Grenadines with a throw-in. That's Quilani knocking it away. Ball back nonetheless with Nigel Charles. Johnson looks for, finds Lynch to Malcolm Stewart on the right side. Stewart knocks into the path of Lynch. Cross comes in now and nodded away, but still with St. Vincent and the Grenadines as it comes right back there to Nigel Charles. Has Franklin to his left, who had a scorching equalizer for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Still with it, the Vincy Heat. Oleg Sanderson is. And losing possession. Ball is out of touch. It's going to be a throw into the British Virgin Islands.
So that's still a throw-in for the BVI.
Here's Williams with that throw-in. Charles. So St. Vincent with a free kick that is very quickly taken now. Jamari Lynch has Stewart ahead of him. Stewart now moves down the right side, looking to cut in. Still has possession. Cross comes in, but will only find a BVI player. And still a battle for possession. In the end, cleared. And Nigel Charles with possession now for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. To Johnson, back to Charles. Looks one, finds Courtney Franklin, and
should have done better. Should have done a lot better.
So Williams with the throw-in for the BVI. Not showing him any kind of urgency, so to speak. Throw now taken. Nigel Charles being pushed in the process, fouled as a matter of fact. And ball is out of touch nonetheless. Goal kick to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Let's see. No, it's actually a free kick. Right, thought that there was a foul. Courtney Franklin now in possession. To Thompson. Devon Thompson to Kenija Joseph. Malcolm Stewart it is. With possession. Running at the defense. Skips past one. Fouled in the process. And guilty player being Matthews there, as player got past him. Free kick to St. Vincent and
running all the way out to take that free kick.
Yes.
That's that angle. And
there you see Coach
Hendrickson. You want to repeat that free kick that really left goalkeeper Beckles.
Well, I guess he's been asking Blake to come in. I don't understand. I mean, you're just about a minute in the last minute of the game. Why, we have two players out there wasting it, so to speak. Courtney Franklin to take this free kick for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It comes in now and nodded away by the BVI defense. Nigel Charles is there for Vincy Heat. Ball comes back out there to Thompson. Now to Chad Haynes. Haynes twisting and turning, maintaining possession for St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
There's a player down for Vincy Heat. It looks like Franklin.
Time play continues.
In fact, Franklin is on the right. There's a player down on the left.
Finding Stewart. Stewart gets it in. And it's knocked away. I believe it is going to be a corner kick.
Should be a corner.
But as we said, there's a player down for St. Vincent and the Grenadines as the...
We're now going to get some attention.
Yes. And, difficult to pick up who the player actually is. So still 1-1. We're into the 90th minutes. As a matter of fact, into extra time. And player still very much on the turf. Being given some attention. Looks as if it possibly might be Nigel Charles.
Yes, I was just going to say, it appears as if it's Nigel Charles. He's been now helped to his feet. Yes, he is.
So Vincy Heat now to 10 men with this corner kick. Taken there by Courtney Franklin. Kick comes in and it's off the head of, it looks like Olex Anderson. Going wide that time, and the scoreline remains 1-1. So BVI with this goal kick. Beckles gets it from Wilshire. Ball is upfield. Johnson. The Charles was back on field very quickly indeed. Nigel Charles. Forcing ball there now, looking for Savioli Blake. He's closely marked Blake. Cut out by the defense for the British Virgin Islands. Ball is back nonetheless to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and they lost it. Now regaining it. Thompson was looking to get Malcolm Stewart going. But it's with Matthews of the BPI. Ball ricochets now into the path of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. There's an appeal there by Olex Anderson, I believe, for a penalty, but referee Badu will have none of it. And it's a goal kick awarded. Olex Anderson, let's have a look at it. Well, he played the ball there definitely, Wilshire. Let's have a look at it once again. Ball first indeed, Charlo.
I think I would say it was a fair call on the part of referee Bedu.
Yes, very much so. So there's an anxious look still on the face of Coach Ezra Hendrickson.
Wilshire has really done a lot of work for the BVI in this game.
Yeah, he certainly, and he had that goal.
And he's a goal scorer.
Yes. Meantime, there's a look of happiness on the face of the BVI coach. I think they'll be quite comfortable going away with at least a 1-1 draw, Charlo.
But certainly, they would be happy, and I'm sure Coach Ezra Hendrickson will not be happy, even though he's going away with a clean sheet of not losing a game.
So here's Abraham with possession now for St. Vincent. Finds Johnson, who turns very quickly, goes to his right. To Jamari Lynch. Has Matthews, he goes into the middle there to Kanija Joseph. Finds Malcolm Stewart on the right side. Stewart now runs at the defense. Has Matthews. Can he get around Matthews? Still with it. Cross comes in now, and there was Olex Anderson, but Beckles got there first.
But I think Beckles covered the angle well, and that had a bit of power on it, but straight into the hands of Beckles. And he just held on to it for a little longer, allowing the seconds to tick by.
Abraham. Find Nigel Charles. It's really, truly done some good defensive work in this left back position for Vincy Heat. Floated in upfield now, looking there for Courtney Franklin, but it's too much on it. And it's out of touch for a turn to the BPI.
And one would anticipate the whistle at any moment.
So Williams to take the throw in. Thompson for St. Vincent and the Grenadines finds Jamari Lynch. Lynch has Matthews ahead of him, but leaves it there for Malcolm Stewart. Stewart cross comes in, and well, ball is back out there now to Saviola Blake. Franklin, oh well, for the umpteenth time, having a bit of a problem with his control, and again turning that ball over to the British Virgin Islands. We are in the 6th minute now of extra time. Ball nodded away there by Kenija Joseph. So Williams yet again to take another throw for the British Virgin Islands. Into the path of Courtney Franklin. And here's Jamari Lynch. And in possession now for Vincey Heat. And giving it up, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That's been somewhat of the story for the night. Certainly had their fair share of possession, but at times just simply turned it over to the opposition, as we now see a free kick being awarded to the British Virgin Islands in this, the 7th minute of extra time, as Will shed a goal scorer to take it. And prepared to go right back there to goalkeeper Beckles. Here's Yadonov knocking it upfield. Player found to be offside. And St. Vincent and the Grenadines will take a free kick as quickly as possible. Johnson into the 8th minute of extra time. Malcolm Stewart it is, cuts in. Goes back to Kenija Joseph. Joseph finds what looks like Jamari Lynch. Lynch gets past the defender. And in the end it's booted away for a throw into St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Quickly taken there by Jamari Lynch. Finds Malcolm Stewart. Stewart back out to Lynch. Now Saviola Blake gets it into the path of Courtney Franklin. Franklin. Well, there were no yellow shirts there for that matter. And
just about every green shirt back into that attacking area, defending for all they're worth.
And now we see Beckles taking the safe route, knocking down the clock, so to speak. And he's going to take his time to get to his feet, Beckles. As boots this one way upfield. And there's a final whistle. So it is a 1-1 draw here tonight at the ARNOS Stadium in this international friendly. St. Vincent and the Grenadines taking on the British Virgin Islands. A situation where the home team certainly had lots of possession, but that possession really and truly didn't turn into the whole matter of goal scoring, and there we see it ended 1-1.
Yes, so I definitely think that Coach Ezra Hendricks would not be happy with the end result. There's Vincey Heat, they had greater possession, but certainly not finishing the way he would love them to finish. However, they have salvaged a 1-1 draw, and that should give them a bit of comfort in that we have not lost any of our warm-up games, our friendlies. We have had a 3-1, 3-0 victory against St. Kitts, and now a 1-1 draw against Anguilla, which really I think they should have done better.
Well, a game that quite a lot of persons would have expected St. Vincent and the Grenadines to come away as winners, but didn't happen here tonight. The focus quite naturally now will be on Anguilla, that comes here on June 4th, and then the team will head on to Puerto Rico on June 10th to take on the Puerto Ricans, certainly there in Puerto Rico. But it's been a good outing for the team. Certainly the opportunity being given to quite a number of local players. We saw in this particular game here tonight the likes of Olex Anderson, who came in with limited time, the likes of course, Milton Joseph, who plays the trades in Canada, so too Johnson. But by and large, quite a number of local players were given the
by and large,
opportunity.
I think the spread, just a few foreign-based players have gotten that opportunity, but generally speaking, it was more locally based players who had the exposure, and I think he said it gives them a better idea of who we have and the pool we have to pick from, and so those persons who have gotten that opportunity would have really tried to make that come, because a few days from now, before they will be up in their qualifiers.
All right, so we wrap it up here tonight. A 1-1 draw here at the ARNOS Stadium. Got to say thanks on behalf of co-commentator Cecil Charles, the entire broadcasting team here at BC3. Led by the brother Rohan Morgan, of course, all the camera crew and other persons who were involved in the production here tonight. So I think it was a pleasure bringing it to you, and we look forward, of course, to bringing you more sporting action here on BC3. Been a pleasure.
Line by the door don't long. Where we going? Big jam. Who playing a big band? False alarm, false alarm. The lights on off, lights on. The whole place lit. Yeah. Your team lit. Yeah. My team lit. Watch TV, my mother tell me see and where we going? Big jam. Where we going? Big jam. Who playing a big band? Who playing a big band? Where we going? Big jam. Where we going? Big jam. Who playing a big band?
Whole place lit when we link up, yeah.
That's what I do.
Take a deep breath. Breathe. Can you feel it? The air in your lungs. The essence and spirit of life in the air. This is paradise.
In other words, I ain't not doing. Don't tell me about work I out on the road today. Me and some pretty bitches I out on the boat today. I don't care what time of day it is, I drinking rum today. I having fun today. Yeah! Holiday. Today is a holiday. I don't care what about.
Imagine the South Coast without its magic. No sound of waves rolling against the shore. No birds diving into the crystal clear waters. No laughter on the beaches. Our South Coast is a source of life and livelihood. It's a sanctuary for fishermen who rise with the sun, casting their nets to bring fresh seafood to our tables. But they face growing challenges. Rising sea temperatures, storms, and pollution, which threaten their way of life and the very fish they rely on. For our hoteliers, the South Coast is an irreplaceable attraction, inviting travelers from around the world. Yet, with climate change, storms grow stronger, and beach erosion steals away the beauty we all cherish. For marine tour operators, every dive and tour is an invitation to witness the magic below the waves. But pollution and coral bleaching are threatening these habitats, and with them, our chance to experience the wonders of the underwater world. For residents, this coast is home, a place to raise families, to feel the sea breeze, and to watch our children play on clean sands. But pollution and litter are changing this place, bringing the threat of a coastline lost. Imagine if all of this just disappeared. No fish, no corals, no sandy beaches. We have a choice. We can protect the South Coast, or we can watch it fade. Together, we can preserve this place for generations to come. Every action matters. Every choice counts. So join us in protecting the South Coast.
Take a deep breath. Breathe. Can you feel it? The air in your lungs. The essence and spirit of life in the air.
Just can't see myself coming to work today.
This is paradise.
In other words, I ain't not doing. Don't tell me about work I out on the road today. Me and some pretty bitches I out on the boat today. I don't care what time of day it is, I drinking rum today. I having fun today. Yeah! Holiday. Today is a holiday. I don't care what about.
Where we going? Big jam. Where we going? Big jam. jammer. Pull up the parking lot rammer. Line by the door don't long. Where we going? Big jammer. Who playing a big band?